Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pitchside Podcast channel. I am the host, the HOD of the PSP. Like, share this video, comment on it what you think of this game, subscribe most importantly if you're new to the channel, enable notifications to receive the updates of all of our content here. Follow us on social media. I'm at PSP on Twitter, Pitchside Pod on Instagram, and you can listen to the podcast on Spotify or any other platform. I am honored to be joined once again for the second time on this channel by Morgan Murphy from TheRedsDaily. Welcome, Morgan.
Hello, everyone. Glad to be here.
Yeah. Of course, give him a follow. I'm going to be putting the links to his Twitter in the description, his Twitter and the Twitter of the channel. Of course, putting the links to the TheRedsDaily channel in the description. Go give them a subscribe if you are a Liverpool fan and want to hear all sorts of content related to the Reds. And speaking of the Reds, of course, it's the big game this weekend in the Premier League on Sunday. It is Liverpool versus Manchester United. It's a discussion that I would love having with you at the moment, and we're going to be starting by sort of assessing the two sides of the season so far heading into this game. And certainly we're assessing, by the standards of this season, this weird, COVID-affected season. I'm going to give you the floor. Give me your assessment for Liverpool so far. How do you see them faring compared to last season, mostly?
Compared to last season, I don't think we're anywhere near the level we were, and I think that's not due to us being poor this season. I think it's just the last 2 years we've set such a high standard for ourselves in the league. Obviously, at this point last season, we had, I think it was 17 wins and 1 draw,
Yeah.
or 16 wins and 1 draw. We set such a high standard that not many teams are ever going to be able to compete with. But no, comparing to last season, we're not at that level. But that's because we've been dropping points in games where we should be winning. The West Brom and Newcastle, where we've dominated both games and dropped points in. We've got 6 draws so far this season.
Yeah.
And I think it's, going on to United quickly, I think it's very high credit that they're top of the league right now, because they're picking up the points in the games where Liverpool aren't. So it's going to be a tough game on Sunday.
I think you're true. I mean, compared to last season, by this point, Liverpool only lost once. I think no, they still didn't lose yet. It was in February they lost to Watford compared to last season. So yeah, I mean the standards were so high, which by that token, I think Liverpool's performances this season are a disappointment quite a bit. But mostly that's down to the injuries. The change of personnel is so constant this season. It looks like, and Jurgen Klopp always had to make a lineup on the fly. It looks like, because every week there is a player or two that has questions around his fitness and injuries and long-term injuries, particularly for Van Dijk, is quite harming. Now, from a United point of view, I'm trying to represent the United point of view, although I'm no United fan by any stretch. But I think compared to last season, probably Manchester United would feel slightly motivated, although the second half of their season was pretty terrific, with Bruno Fernandes coming in and transforming the fortunes of that club pretty much. A Portuguese player coming from Sporting Lisbon in Portugal and transforming the fortunes of United. I don't know whether I've seen that before. It's absolutely great to see Man United playing for the title once again. I'm certainly a person that would love to see some competition more than just Liverpool and Man City this season. And yes, they had their bad form at home at the start, but certainly they picked up the steam a little bit. In a weird way, after, being out of the Champions League, it looks that they are better for it, and they seem to have more focus in the Premier League than in anything else. And, also projecting here for next week, because Liverpool also are playing United at Old Trafford in the FA Cup. So how do you think this game is going to affect that game?
Well, firstly, while I'm not on a Liverpool channel, I'm coming with the most unbiased point of view I could possibly have. I'm going to stay, because obviously it's such a big rivalry that you're going to want to lean towards your club. But we can't ignore the fact that Man United have been winning games and winning games comfortably, and they are doing really well this season. Now, you mentioned Bruno Fernandes. He's just picked up his 4th Player of the Month award,
Yeah.
and here's a stat for your podcast. He's picked up 4 in the last year, and Kevin De Bruyne hasn't picked up 1 yet in his 5 years in the Premier League. So,
Oh,
at,
I
at,
actually didn't know that.
so at some point, people are going to start asking the questions of how good is Bruno Fernandes, and is he being, like, even though everyone's giving him credit, is he being slightly underrated? Because he's been incredible since he's transformed the whole United team, and he's brought a lot of positivity back, because before that you could see everyone was down. Paul Pogba wasn't performing. Like,
Yeah.
he's lifted that whole team another level. Now, in the league, obviously the Anfield record, Liverpool know we're 3 points behind them, so we need to try and pick up the points. Otherwise, the league's gonna slip away from us at some point if we don't start picking up points in the games we need to.
Yeah, and
Um,
slipping to Man United, it's the worst thing that could happen, really.
Especially seeing as if we slip to them, we lose our Anfield record in the league.
I mean,
To United, I don't
just
think.
just between air quotes, let's not use the word slip a lot here, because slipping and Liverpool are
Yeah, it
something
doesn't
that
go well
go,
together.
yeah, that go quite in hand with each other. But anyway, on a serious note, I think you're right. Bruno Fernandes and this game against Liverpool, probably both games against Liverpool, are going to be a real metric for his sort of influence on the game. I mean, can he take Man United to that extra level so they can beat Liverpool, who are, in my opinion, still in some way the team to beat this season, despite the Premier League title race being wide open, probably even extended to teams like Southampton or Leicester this season. It's blowing wide open, and I think, but Liverpool are still the team to beat. So this is going to be Man United's test, an ultimate test of how tough they can be, how hard they can be, how good they can be under serious pressure, because this is serious pressure time for them. This is the goal squeezing time for them. Whether they're going to be crushing or they're going to be turning into the diamond that is going to be winning the league this season. And Bruno Fernandes in particular is going to be having all eyes on him pretty much to see if he's going to affect Liverpool's line. I don't really see this game being a title decider. For some people call it that way, but I don't see it that way. Although United winning this game is going to be pretty important if they do. Now, I just want to ask you, what do you expect from Liverpool in this game, considering the injury that is still ongoing, the whole situation, the last couple of performances that are not exactly satisfying. Even the victory against Aston Villa at the Cup was quite uncomfortable to watch for an hour or so. So, what do you expect from Liverpool in this game, knowing that this is going to be a crucial one, and taking into consideration the whole mind games between Klopp and Solskjaer about the penalty issues?
Well, firstly, I feel like Klopp is going to shock a little bit in the lineup, and I have a feeling like he's going to put Henderson back at centre back again with Fabinho,
Yeah,
purely on the experience basis. I
yeah,
have a feeling like we're going to have a midfield that sees Thiago. I think Thiago is going to be a very key part of this game.
yeah,
And we're also going to see Shaqiri in the starting lineup.
yeah,
I have a feeling like, even though it was only a youthful Villa side, he came on and within 280 seconds, so 3 minutes, he already had 2 assists. Like, he brings a little bit of the spark that we've lacked in the Southampton, the Newcastle, the West Brom games. It's a bit of creativity and cutting edge that we've needed. So I feel like we're going to line up as strong as we can and try and put as little youth players as we possibly can on the pitch, because it's shown that we've lacked the experience. We've needed a leader. So I feel like we're going to go as strong as we possibly can in the game. If there's any game that we're going to lose, it'll be the FA Cup tie, because the Premier League will mean too much to Klopp. Like, you've seen in recent seasons that he's kind of disregarded the FA Cup a little bit. It's
yeah.
always been, it's always been, weak team. We lost 2-0 to Chelsea last season, and it was
Yep.
because we put out a team of not nobodies, but a weakened team compared to what Chelsea had out. So if we do lose, I think it will be in the FA Cup tie rather than the Premier League,
L-
and we're
Like,
going to go all for it.
here's a thing. Here's a stat for you. I think you reckon. I don't know if I'm true or not, but I think Klopp didn't get past the fourth round in the FA Cup in all of his seasons. No, no. I actually made a mistake. I realized I actually made a mistake because I think he reached the final in his first season. Am I correct?
Not the FA Cup final, from what I remember. I
Yeah,
think we
the
got
Carabao.
yeah
Yeah, it
Carabao. I
was the
think
Carabao Cup against City.
Carabao in 2016
It
that
was
we lost on
against City and
penalties.
we lost on penalties. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think I'm correct in saying that he didn't get past the fourth round of the FA Cup in all of his seasons with Liverpool. He was eliminated, I think, once by Wolves, by Chelsea,
yeah, you're right.
By Aston Villa last season. So that is clear that he disregards the FA Cup. And obviously, I think Liverpool brought him in mind for the Premier League mainly. Let's be real. They didn't bring him for the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, certainly not. They wanted to bring him to get the Premier League title after 30 years of wait, and they did that. And I think now they should go for the FA Cup. In my opinion, they should really consider it and regard it, especially if they lose against United. I'm not, I'm not saying that. I have a feeling that they're coming like the underdogs for some reason. Like it feels like everyone is talking about United's great form at the moment versus Liverpool's dip in form. It's like a collision course, of opposite directions really. While United are going up and Liverpool are going down. Um, I don't. Do you think that they are underdogs? Like, do you see them somewhat of a disadvantage against United at the moment, even slightly?
I don't know if we're at a disadvantage. Now, I know that they're in good form and we're in poor form, but I think all roads lead to Liverpool being all full confidence. If you're thinking the Anfield record that we're trying to maintain, the fact we're 3 points behind them and know that we could be 6 points after the game is going to motivate us to go for them.
Yeah.
And just all over, it's a derby game. We're going to go for it as much as we can. Who wants to lose against some of your biggest rivals? No
Yeah.
one will ever want that. So we will go for it. As I said, FA Cup is one of them. Klopp hasn't really gone for it in any season. Now, I've just checked up. We went out against Chelsea last season, against Wolves the season before, West Brom, Wolves again, and West Ham. So you are right. We haven't gone past the fourth round in any season since Klopp has been at Liverpool, which is it speaks everything. You said that this season Liverpool should maybe focus a little bit more on the FA Cup to try and give us. I don't. It's just another piece of silverware. Now I understand that, and silverware. I don't care what trophy we win. Just bring some trophies to Anfield. But if you're thinking the financial side for the club, their minds are on the Premier League and the Champions League. The FA Cup is just another bonus on the side of it. So financially, they're going to put all their eggs into the Champions League and Premier League basket. The FA Cup is just on the side. So if we did lose, if we went out in the FA Cup and played Minamino, Divock Origi, like that side of the team, Nico Williams, Nat Phillips, Reece Williams, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest.
I let me just paint this scenario in your head. I want you to sleep these 2 days with this scenario in your head. Imagine
Yep.
United beating you at Anfield in the Premier League, and then knocking you out of the FA Cup again.
Can I not have that scenario in my head?
Yeah, just want to plant that scenario in your head and see how you're gonna get through your weekend with that scenario, in the back of your mind. Imagine this. I know the scenario all very well. I mean, in the context of my local uh, sports team here, not exactly a reference that anybody with a European background would get or anything. But my local team, of course, we take part in the African Champions League, and we played a double
Yeah.
fixture against one of our biggest rivals in Africa. and we played the Super Cup against them because we won the Champions League the year prior. And we were drawn together in the quarterfinal of the next edition of the Champions League, which happened to be 2 weeks apart. And we lost both ties. So it felt really bad. It seriously, it doesn't sound good at all. It felt really bad, and the amount of trolls we got from the local rivals is insane. Like losing a Super Cup and also losing a Champions League quarterfinal tie to the same side in 2 weeks, and it was quite embarrassing as well. So just putting you, in the context of having a scenario like that, hopefully for you will never, live to see it that way, especially against United. Back to the Premier League game, though. Talking about the undefeated record at Anfield. Now, how much of percentage do you give this game? Like, if you're going to be a bookie, if you're going to say win, draw, and loss for Liverpool, how much percentage you put for each result?
Well, I do think Liverpool will still be the favourites, and that's genuinely unbiased. I understand that Man United are in top form, but we've still got a top quality side. Other than in the defence, I feel like we are the stronger team. In midfield as well, I think Bruno's got everything going for him, and so's Pogba. But they are lacking Martial for the game of, are they? I think he's out.
Okay, I'll do an actual double check in really quick. I think he's not. I think
I heard that he is, but anyway, what I was going to say is that I think we are still the favourites. I think we do still have the better team, and I think being 3 points behind them, knowing that if those guys win, they're 6 points ahead. Now, 6 points is, even though we're early in the season, it's still a nice little margin to have ahead of you, just knowing that, look, we're in the driving seat. These people are chasing us now. So we need to get back onto level terms with them. So I'd go, we're probably like, if I'm confident, I'd say 70% chance we will win. But if I'm being realistic, I think it is closer to like 60-40. It is a very, very close game to predict.
By the way, it is Rashford, not Martial, who's going to be missing. And that is a huge, I don't know if I say huge plus for Liverpool that Rashford is not going to be playing at the moment.
You don't ever want to celebrate an injury, even if it's your biggest rivals.
Come on. I mean, spare me this BS. The troll Twitter in you, Morgan Murphy, the Twitter person in you would celebrate it.
I've got the troll in me, but I'm also not on a Liverpool podcast, so it's got to be a little bit unbiased. It's not something you want to celebrate, but as you said, it's a very, very good sign for Liverpool, knowing that they're missing one of their best players. I mean, if we went out right now and it came out in the news, Liverpool are going to be missing Salah for the game, I'm pretty sure United fans will feel the same way.
Although, I mean, it happened. I mean, Liverpool missed their best players for a Champions League semi-final tie against Barcelona, and they still managed to come back. Like, it's not something exactly, out of the realms of possibility that this is just going to motivate United even more. Now, for me, from the United side of things, I would expect them to definitely start Pogba. I don't think there is no way in hell that they don't start Pogba in this game, because I see he's probably up there with Bruno Fernandes in terms of form. So I reckon it will be, the usual back four in United, which I'm still not convinced by in any way, shape, or form, in front of De Gea. So it will be, I reckon it will be McTominay and Pogba, something like that. Fred and Pogba, Fred and McTominay, both, and with Pogba a little bit up front. I think that Ole used this a little bit more before. So I reckon it will be Fred McTominay in the midfield alongside Pogba, and it will be Bruno Fernandes doing his false nine kind of thing ahead of Martial and Cavani, I reckon. or probably in front of Greenwood and Martial, or Greenwood and Cavani. So it's going to be one of those things. But I reckon Pogba should start in that midfield. And this is where the battle is going to be. This is where the battle is going to be contested, isn't it? In the midfield, you're going to see I think with pulling Henderson to centre half, as you said, that is going to create, that's going to create some empty space in the midfield. It has to do so. Even if you're going to be playing Milner, or, I don't know, starting with Oxlade-Chamberlain alongside Thiago, because I reckon Thiago should start for this one.
I think he definitely will be starting the game. He's going to be a creative spark that Liverpool need. As I said, we lacked it in the last few games. I feel like this game is going to be won in the attack. It's going to be attack versus attack, highly entertaining game, because both defences are weak. As you said, United's defence you're not really sure on, and Liverpool's defence right now, can anybody be sure on it when we're playing two centre mids in centre back? I don't know. This game is fully going to be based on whose attack plays better, who wants it more. I think that's the whole basis on the game. If Salah, Mane, Firmino turn up, it could be an anything scoreline. But also, if they don't turn up, and Fernandes and Pogba and Martial, all of these players work their magic, it could easily be the other way.
Okay, now give me, one weakness and one strength. Do you think is going to define the game from the Liverpool point of view? Like, the biggest weakness, do you think that can be, damaging for Liverpool, and also the biggest strength that can define them and they could capitalize on against United?
So one weakness that I think will define the game will definitely be our defence, because as we saw against Southampton, Henderson didn't really work at centre-back. Now, I know I did say that I think Henderson will play there. That's not personal preference, but I think Henderson will be made to play centre-back on the experience basis. Missing Van Dijk and Gomez is a huge blow. And I know we've said the same excuse all season, but any team missing both of their first team centre-backs are going to have a drop-off in form. So the fact that Liverpool are still second in the league, I think it's still full credit to us, because any club, if Man United were left with a 19-year-old centre-back and have to play Scott McTominay at centre-back, they would have the exact same drop-off in form as we have. The positive, something that's going to define the game for us, will definitely be whether Salah turns up or not. Because I know Mane he's been okay this season. Mane hasn't been brilliant. Firmino, again, okay. Salah's been a game changer. And recently, he hasn't been a game changer. Again, 2 games in a row now, we haven't scored a goal. I know we scored against Villa 4, but I'm not really counting Villa because a very youthful side. If our attack turns up on the day, mainly Salah, this game could be any scoreline. But it is whether they're able to turn up and do their magic, because recently, 2 games in a row, they haven't done that.
Okay, so I'm gonna, answer the same question from a United point of view, although I'm not a United fan again by any stretch. I made this clear, I think, on the channel that I'm a Bayern Munich supporter, so I have nothing to do with United. But in my opinion, I think the weakness that is going to be in United, it's just like the one in Liverpool, but I think it's all about the quartet of their defense in the back. The whole four, whomever four are going to be starting, probably Eric Bailly in a lesser degree. I reckon Eric Bailly is slightly better than the others. I mean, surely better than Lindelof. No, I don't think that Maguire or Luke Shaw or Bissaka are going to be, up to the task, really. I mean, they can have some shockers. I think the strength of United will be in Pogba more than Fernandes. And I know that might be shocking, because everybody's going to be looking at this and like, Bruno Fernandes is the best player. He's just received the Player of the Month award for the 4th time and what have you. But I think Pogba, with his current form, is going to be an influential part, because depending on his position, a lot of things are going to be defined because he's one of the players that might take advantage of the spaces in the midfield. He's one of those players that can make the runs forward. He's physical, so he's going to have some presence in that midfield in terms of physical battles as well. He could, be another option in the attack. So practically, if Pogba is on his very, very best, which is, really, really good. If you saw him at Juventus or saw him at France in the World Cup, is really good. So it depends if he's on form, his positioning on the game, and his use by Solskjaer is going to define a lot of things about United, and his use also is going to set the motions for Bruno Fernandes, to bounce off him and to deliver passes forward to whatever combination of duo or trio is going to be playing in that attack. If you're going to be thinking about a prediction now, and we come to the part where we're going to be predicting the score lines, how do you think the game is going to go?
It could go either way. If I'm giving a biased prediction, I would probably say 2-0 to Liverpool, because you never want to go against your side in a rivalry game. And it's the same result as last season. Genuinely, I just feel like it could happen again. But I think the first team to score in this game will go on to win it. I think the momentum's going to be a huge thing, and getting the first goal could be huge towards winning the game. So I'm going to go 2-0 to Liverpool, but I don't want to seem biased with that. It could definitely go the other way quite easily.
I'm going to go... I told you, when I texted you on Twitter to prepare to this, I told you that my prediction is a little bit bold, so it's going to be pretty detailed. I'm going to say, for the sake of argument, that United are going to be winning 2-1 at Anfield, and it will be, United scoring first, Liverpool equalising, and it will be around 70-ish, 75 minutes.
Well, Bruno Fernandes wins a penalty.
No, I mean, this penalty thing, Liverpool have, I don't know, is it Liverpool with one penalty less than United this season?
I don't know, but I'll carry on the joke. Just don't tell me that's that.
Yeah, I think so, because seriously, people are ignoring this fact that Liverpool just have one less penalty than Man United this season. Maybe because they vary the takers for some reason. Maybe Milner, takes some penalties. Mo Salah takes some penalties because because they're not as frequent. And sometimes in some games the penalty shoutouts against Liverpool. So that's why that go against Liverpool and VAR, and the whole debacle. But in my opinion, I reckon, if United take the lead, they will cave in. They will allow Liverpool a little bit of pressure. Liverpool might score, and then Liverpool probably would go for the second. And if they're going to be doing, this Henderson-Fabinho centre-half partnership, that's what I'm expecting, some counter-attack serious threat from United. And that's why I'm expecting this result of 2-1. And United, when they, crowd their defence and they defend with 8, 9 or 10 people, they're really good at it, to be fair. They do that well. And only Gunnar Solskjaer can defend well and can, be pretty compact when he needs to. So that's why I'm going for a 2-1 result. And I know that might not be suitable for you, but, that's where I'm going.
Look, an opinion's an opinion.
Yeah, it's just for the sake of argument first, and I want to be held accountable for this prediction. But seriously, back to that percentage thing. If I'm going to be given a percentage for this game, it's going to be around, I don't know, 45 from each side, and 10% for the draw, or even as I'm going for United win, I'll probably give 55. I would go 55 for United and 45 for Liverpool. That is quite tight, but I reckon for some reason, I think if Liverpool are going to be losing their undefeated streak at Anfield, and if United want to win the league, this is the game, regardless of whether the FA Cup is going to have any effect on it, or this game is going to have any effect on the FA Cup fixture later on, because the result of this one will make the FA Cup tie look like a friendly. Seriously, it will make it look like a serious friendly.
Definitely. Now, I've just actually gone onto a bookies website just to see what their odds are saying on it. Now, if you're putting £1 on each team to win, yeah,
Yeah.
Liverpool would return £2, so it's 1-1.
Yeah.
And Man United would return £3.60, which is 13-5. So Liverpool are favourites for the game. The bookies are saying.
I mean, the bookies said last season, if anything, they said that Man City are favourites to win the Champions League.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we all
Yeah,
know
you
how
got it there.
we all know how ended. We all know, and not just that, they were 1-2. Like this was unbelievably
Heavy
in favour
favourite.
of Man City, and for some reason, like Bayern Munich were 12-5. And that was like before the whole tournament started in Lisbon. Like this was before the final stages, like right before the quarterfinals, not in the start of the season. So I don't know how I don't know how the bookies work sometimes, but still.
Yeah.
So let's wrap it up. I really expect an entertaining game, really, fans or no fans. And I'm going to ask you quickly, really, give me what your expectation for the game as a performance. We've done the result now and we predicted the game. How do you expect this game to go in terms of entertainment, and also a quick opinion on the celebration thing.
So it's going to be a very heavily attacking game. I think both teams are going to come out of the blocks fast. We're both going to go for it. I think it'll take a good 15 to 20 minutes for both teams to get into the stride. I don't think it'll be a straight away just there's going to be a goal in the 5th minute. It'll take time. Both teams will keep attacking. And I think it's going to be more Liverpool having the possession, Man United hitting a counter-attack when they can. That's what a lot of teams do at Anfield, including Man City last season. So I can't see it going anywhere other than that. But the game will really, really start to kick on in the second half, I feel. It will be, once the teams realise, look, time's getting short, we need to go for something, that's when the game will open up. And between the 60th and 80th minute will be where a winner is found, because that's when the teams will really go for the goals.
Yeah. Thank you for joining me again. I'm really, really honoured whenever you join me here. Hopefully we're going to be doing more of these discussions. I mean, certainly, if you're free on Monday, for sure, we're going to have another discussion regarding the fallout of the game if you want.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So in the end, like, share, comment on this video. What do you think yourselves of the the game prediction, score prediction? What do you think general of the Liverpool and United performances this season so far? I was your boy, the HOD of the PSP. Follow me on social media. I'm at SidePSP on Twitter, Pitch, SidePod on Instagram. Follow Morgan Murphy also on his personal account on Twitter. I'm going to be putting the links in the description as well as the YouTube channel Twitter, and subscribe to
Can I just quickly add another promotion while I'm here?
Yeah, absolutely.
I have set up another podcast with a few Liverpool fans. Last year we did 14 episodes and it was really going well. This season we have started to put money into it, so we're really going and pushing.
Okay, you heard it from him. I'm certainly going to be asking him for the links to put those in the descriptions as well. So I was aboard the HOD of the PSP. Thank you for Mr. Morgan Murphy for joining, and until the next video, hopefully it will be very soon, I'll be seeing you soon. Goodbye.